that we told. Yeah, my money long. Yeah, my money tall. Earnest time is God. Heard you try to come out with us, wonder who you are. Let's get disrespectful. Let's get disrespectful. You better have some respect when you take a minute. I'ma cut you off. Cut you off. You talking to me. Cut you off my clock. Cut you out my life. Where my scissors at? Where my scissors at? Where my motherfucking oven when I need that?
Alright, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back with another Bleach Rebirth of Souls video, and today we're going to look at the battle system itself. So yes, I took the liberty of going to the official Bleach Rebirth of Souls website, which was in Japanese, so I had to do a rough Google translation to turn everything into English, so bear with me for most of them, because I will be overviewing the entire concept breakdown of the system itself. While that is being said, just remember one thing and one thing alone. The subscribe button is right down there. The like button is right next to it. All I ask in return is for you guys to hit both of them and comment down below what you think about this. So with that all said and done, let's start overviewing the entire battle system. So going down, like I said, it's rough Google rough translation of everything. So take everything that have different meanings with a grain of salt. So for one, it states that the condition for victory in the battle is to destroy all the opponent's souls or remaining lives, which, as if you remember the previous gameplays that I've been posting, every match you start with 9 bars of health, or no, say health, like 9 souls, if that's what you're trying to explain. So the soul is protected by a spirit particle, which is the health gauge that's right under it. And by depleting 1 gauge spirit particles through an attack, a soul destroying technique can be used to directly destroy the opponent's soul. In other words, after you take out the entire health bar, you can then pull off a Kiko move to directly destroy the remaining Kompaku. Right? Make full use of the soul destroying technique and aim for victory by destroying all the souls. That is literally the general basis of how each match is going to be. Now, moving on to the first battle system, master the action of distance and tactics. So, in the game, the basic actions are listed as 3 options: attack, break, and guard. Now, these are all put into a triangle sequence. Guard can be used to block every single attack opponent does, like any regular quick attack or fast attack. Break breaks guards, obviously. It feels like a grab animation, but there is no official grab animation in this game. It's generally like a guard break mechanic. And guard breaks does not work when someone is attacking them. It just leaves them completely open. So the quickest way to win is to choose the most advantageous action based on your opponent's action. I mean, it's very clear. Now, also, because different characters and techniques have different effective distances and areas of expertise, it's also important to judge the distance between you and your opponent by making good use of steps, dashes, and walking styles. Walking styles specifically are like Soul Reapers, like basically moving so quick, like what's the term again? I really forgot what the term is. I do know that for Aran cards are called Sony though. I know for Quincy they're called Hiren Kyaku. I feel like Soul Reaper's owns are like I can't really put my finger on it, but let's just move on. So generally you have this kind of unique animation when you well time your steps before the opponent lands an attack on you, and then you get something like this. So moving on, if you time your attack well to hit your opponent as they are about to launch your attack, it will result in a strike back counter hit. Strike back deals more damage than usual to the opponent, and the opponent who is attacked will suffer a longer recovery from the damage. Now, looking at this description in the video, we are seeing that there are 3 color schemes between each strike back. So strike back also has 3 levels depending on the strength of the attack of the attacker, and the effect increase depending on the level. So looking at it, the weakest version of a strike back is the gray one, and the strongest version is the darkish red. So bear that in mind, and it does look like darkish red is pulled off with a heavy attack, I believe. Now, battle system number 2, use a variety of attacks. Now, this is going to be funny. There are 2 basic type of attacks. The quick attack, which most likely going to be the square button, and which is a quick to come out and accumulate spiritual power easily. So each time you land a quick attack, you'll be building up EX in your EX meter. Now, Flash Strike is going to be like a triangle button. I do feel like it's going to be a triangle button. Deals high damage to spirit particles and reduces the guard gauge. So if you want heavy damage attacks, then the triangle button might be the one thing you will look forward to. And if you want to damage the guard to basically start breaking it quickly than trying what's still going to be the same button you're going to use. Now, in addition, each character fights using unique attacks such as their own unique techniques. Like everybody in the game has their own signature moves, bear this in mind. So is no character is the same. You really have to sit down and actually review each character and pick which one you want to main. Like characters vary between what you decide, so just bear this. The only thing that would be similar would just be their kombaku and potentially their health gauge. And but the damage scaling, I'm not too sure if they're gonna be varying because this looks like a balanced game, so it is not gonna be a meta. I really hope there's not gonna be a meta. I really hope so. Now, by accumulating spiritual power through basic attacks, characters can use spiritual pressure techniques, special actions that are unique to each character. The key to victory is to make decisions and negotiate according to the situation, whether to increase spiritual power with quick strike, to increase your action options, or prioritize damage to spiritual particles with flash strike. Now, again, this depends on what you decide to do in the match. Like, no one's gonna force you to play however you want. There is no uh, right way to play a character because every character has their own unique play style. So bear this in mind. This is not gonna be similar to like Sparking Zero or something like that. So, battle system number three: destroy the opponent's soul. So there are two main ways to use Kimetsu no Yaiba. I'm sorry. Are we talking about Demon Slayer? I did say that this is a rough Google translation, people. So take this name with a grain of salt. So which can directly destroy the opponent's souls, remaining lives, and so on. Now, after this now and never seen, you have just like there are ways that you can activate this. Either one, you have to delete the entire health bar, or two, when the opponent health is below 30%, you then and they're in a spiritual particle deficiency state, which is their health bar turning red, you can then use a mortar or a knockback, which that's what I call it, to blow the opponent away and create a large opening. Then followed up with a soul destroying technique, or in other words, the Kiko move, which is basically one of your ultimates, but we'll get into that later. Now, if your opponent has plenty of spiritual particles, it will be difficult to create openings and they will be able to guard against it, putting you at a disadvantage. So, yeah, if you did not meet the criteria of deleting their entire health bar or putting their health bar below 30% and using a knockback, and just think overall to just use your spiritual pressure move, sorry, using your Kiko move at any point in the story, yeah, they can easily just block it and to be like a cool clash animation, but it's just gonna be you wasting your own time and their own time as well. So yeah, so it's important to make decisions while watching the battle situation. So this game is going to be strictly about patience, timing, and execution. If you lack any of those three, I highly advise that you would not be able to compete against some of the players that will be touching this game and call themselves pros. Also, if the opponent's guard gauge is reduced to zero, a guard break state occurs, making it impossible to guard, creating an opportunity to land a mortar attack or soul destroying technique, even if the opponent is lacking spiritual atoms. So yeah, this is also the third option I mentioned before. If you don't delete their health bar or put it at the 30% mark and knock them away, you can also just choose to destroy their guard, which will give you the chance to utilize your mortar to knock them back and your Kiko move. Now, here's the problem because the guard break the guard break state aspect is the weakest version of destroying your Konpaku, as it states. However, if the method is not to reduce the opponent's spiritual particles by one gauge, the soul destroying technique will be performed while the opponent's spiritual particles remain, so the number of souls destroyed will be reduced. So let me give you an example. Let's say if you take your opponent's health down to less than 30% and knock them back, and you use your Kiko move, the amount of souls you can destroy will be around two. But if you delete their health bar and do a knockback, you can delete like three souls with your Kiko move. But if you were to utilize the guard break state problem, you would only just delete one of their Kompaku. You get what I mean, right? The way you take their Kompaku out, or the way you make an opening to utilize your Kiko move, it depends on which step you take. And the guard break stage is the weakest among them all. I'm just telling you right now. I'm just giving you an example. I'm not saying that's how it is, but I'm just giving you an example. All right, so battle system number four: gather your fighting spirit and awaken. So when a certain amount of fighting spirit, if you don't know what that is, if you look at the gameplay, you will see that behind the entire health gauge there is a meter. That meter naturally builds up over time. Now that meter is gonna be your fighting spirit, so it accumulates during battle, which would then result to you having a chance to utilize your awakening, which for characters is either a Shikai, Bankai, or a sword release. Now, in the awakening state, results changes the actions and improves performance in various techniques, such as well, it increases the number of souls destroyed by soul destruction techniques. So yeah, if originally in your base form you can only destroy like two or three kompakus at a go, yeah, if you awaken you can destroy like three or four souls, depending on which Kikon move you can pull off. Now, even in a pinch, it becomes easier to aim for a one-hit kill to turn the tide. So yeah, awakenings can be a crazy comeback mechanic. And what's funny is that unlike Naruto Storm games, when you awaken, you do not depower or transform back into normal. No, once you awaken, you're gonna stay in that state throughout the majority of the match. Either you use a reawakening or you continue the match in that awakened state through the remainder. So moving down here, we also get introduced to the other additional mechanics we're having, which one of them is known as sublimation. So when fighting spirit is accumulated to a certain level while awakened, soul destruction sublimation will be activated, further increasing the number of souls destroyed by a soul destruction technique. So generally, if you were awakened and you can only destroy like three kompaku, and if you try to do a one of your Kiko moves and sublimation is active, you can destroy from three, you can destroy up to five Kopaku. I feel like that's the case because this sublimation may be one of the major things that can cause a comeback. Now moving on, so we got something interesting as well. When a character's fighting spirit is fully charged in the awakened state, spirit drive is activated. Now, know this: spirit drive can only be given to characters who do not have reawakenings. So, I will say this now since I have been reacting to some character trailers. Bankai Ichigo, who has Vassal Lord, Ukiura specifically, and Aizen will not have spirit drive because all three of those characters have reawakenings. Now, I will say this now. In Spirit Drive state, various abilities are enhanced as follows. This is actually very interesting, so bear this in mind because this can actually be the major balance that this game needs because one, you get increased damage dealt to enemies, reduced damage taken from enemies, movement speed increase, and increased accumulation of spiritual power. So yeah, if you're capable, like if you're at your last leg and you have filled your awakening meter and you enter spirit drive state, you are at a point that it's now or never. It's either you finish the fight or you basically go down swinging. So yeah, the game is going to be very interesting when it comes out because once it's finished, I really would see how someone with 2 bars of health would take out someone who had like 7 bars while Spirit Drive is active. It will be insane. It will be very insane. All right. So battle system number five: use of reverse actions. So I would say this. Reverse actions. By the way, let me explain. As you can see, these like right here. This is where your kompaku will be. All your different souls at a maximum amount of 9. Now this is your health bar. This is your awakening gauge, which exists behind your health bar, which can also reach sublimation and spirit drive. This is your EX meter, which can build up with your quick attack actions by pressing box. And right under it is your reverse action, which naturally builds up over the course of the match as you're taking damage or you're dealing damage to your enemy. Now, by using reverse gauge, which accumulates over time, you can activate reverse actions. There are 3 types of reverse actions, each with a different effect depending on when they are activated. So, as we there are soul reverse whites. This stage, if you're not doing anything, you're taking your distance, like pacing your enemy, and you just activate soul reverse, you activate soul reverse whites. When your spiritual power go up, you slowly recover health, yada yada. And you got but now moving on, we have chain reverse yellow. If you're dealing a combo, hear this again. If you're pulling off a combo on your opponent mid combo and you activate reverse. Your reverse action will turn yellow, which gives you combo continuation and build up spiritual power quickly. Alright? Now, the last one is actually very funny. Last one, burst reverse blue. If you are the one receiving a combo, again, I'm going to repeat this one more time. If you are the one receiving the combo and you activate your own reverse action, it will cancel out the enemy's combo and recovers your guard gauge. In other words, think of it like uh, a combo breaker or a breaker in Mortal Kombat, which costs you all your EX meter. Yeah, I think that's the best way I can put it. So, yeah. So, oh yeah, I also forgot awakenings as well. You can awaken at any point in the fight, even though you are comboing your opponent or you're getting comboed by your opponent. You can use your awakening, and your awakening is a free get out of a combo free card, but you can only use it like either once, or if you have a reawakening character, you can use it twice. But again, like I said, all this require patience, timing, and obviously you need to have good knowledge in that character that you're using, because I do feel like some people are going to be complaining about characters that they don't know how to use. And that is generally it. The game's set to come out on March 21st. Be wary that I will get this game and I will be posting content about it in this channel. Now, with that all said and done, let me ask you all one question. What do you think about the battle system? What do you think about the mechanics entirely? What do you think about how the game would be? Do you think the game will be balanced? Do you think there will be a meta? I really hope there is not going to be a meta, because I do not want another SJ4 Gogeta NY Goku scenario in this game, because I feel like this game has the potential to be like the anime fighting game that we can see get the appreciation and love it deserves, and it might be able to be a competitive fighting game. But anyways, with that all said and done, I would like to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And in general, bear this in mind, I will say this one more time. You already know the subscribe button is right down there. The like button is right next to it. It would really be nice to see you guys interacting with me more, because I'm really trying my best to ensure that the content here in this channel keeps growing, as well as like we have an understanding with each other. Generally, I just want to know how it would be if this video, if I start posting Bleach Reversals content specifically when the game comes out. I want to know how it will deeply affect this channel. But hey, I mean, I can't really tell. I guess I gotta wait. Who knows? So, with that all said and done, I am Jason Rishima. I'm gonna sign off right now.